Hello, and welcome to another GWENT video. Today we'll be looking at some deathwish. Last season I played a deathwish deck with Shoop and Radea, and that was pretty fun. It was my first time trying out the new Dagon card, which I had previously said had way too much text. It just seemed like way too over the top. After having played it, I will say it's a fun card, and once you're actually in game and you're playing it and you're actually just seeing the effects, it's not as intimidating as just reading this text. I still think it's an essay of a card effect, but it's a fun card, so I'll let it slide. But yeah, there were some people who wanted to see my take on regular deathwish, not the singleton Shoop style, so that's what we'll be doing today. Deathwish has actually seen a little bit of play after Dagon came out, and this list will be very reminiscent of those standard lists. I don't know if I want to call them meta lists, because it's not really a meta deck. Or was it? Maybe it was a tier 3 deck on the latest meta snapshot. I don't remember, but it's a somewhat established archetype, so I guess we could say it's like the meta version of the deck. The main differences, and these will also be all of the differences, because there aren't that many. The normal decks run Erendite, which I definitely get, because this deck actually tempos pretty hard. Brewess Ritual is such an insane tempo play, especially on blue coin, when you can use the Urn of Shadows to immediately trigger her, and then you can consume her and just get so much thinning, so many points. And yes, it makes Erendite a fairly reliable card in the deck. The reason I cut it is mainly because I don't think it's a fun card. The few times I've played it, it's even when I get it really big, and there is some sense of satisfaction in seeing 14 damage or higher on this. It's not interesting. It's not interesting, which is why, previously I played with Radea instead, because she spawns an extra Urn of Shadows, which is really interesting and fun. And this time we're actually just going with double 14 provision card. We're also throwing in Haunt, because this is... I like the old scenarios. The old line of scenarios, they had their time in the sun where they were broken and we all hated them. Haunt has been meta. But now, they're so low-key, and they're just respectable cards. So I enjoy tinkering with them every once in a while. So we're bringing back Haunt alongside Dagon, skewing our provisions, spreading them harder to the edges, which I'm generally not a fan of in terms of deck building, but sometimes you just gotta do it to fit in the cards. So we have Haunt instead of Erendite. That means I had 4 provisions to make up, which means I cut Karan for just a 4 provision card, and Draga X, and there's usually a attack card, a Peller, a Squirrel. We don't do that here. Which is why I have, both of these. One for the Peller, one for the Karan. Karan is interesting. I kind of want to play him, but I had to make up the provision somewhere. And with Haunt giving us 3 extra consumes, potentially, that kind of makes up for it, Otherwise, the deck is the same. We have the Succubus combo going on here, which I couldn't do last time, because when you can only run 1 copy of Succubus, that combo loses a lot of consistency. It's still possible with Doldulok, but I opted out of it. We now have 2 Giant Toads, and I'll try my best to remember the Toad this time, because I kept forgetting last time. And it's not a big deal, but just sometimes, when the opponent dry passes and you're just dumping a card, if that card has Deathwish and you play it on the ranged row, you lose the giant toad carryover, which sucks. And sometimes maybe you don't want the toad to hit the specific card, so you don't want to play it on the ranged row. I'll try to keep it in mind. A card I wanted to include was Harpy Egg. I love Harpy Egg. For a long time, it was definitively the best Deathwish unit in terms of bronzes. But it's been, I think it's been power crept a little bit. It's still good. It is still good. But Foglet can be the same amount of points for one less provision, and even a higher ceiling. Then, you know, Succubus can just soak up so many consumes. Siren is 1 point less, but it has a consume on order. So this just... I found it harder than I suspected to put in Harpy Egg, which is sad, because I like the card. We can still spawn it with bonded harpies. I'm not sure how often we'll be able to do that. I also wanted to run Mushy Truffle for an extra harpy, just to increase the odds of getting that bonded at least once, because it's a good bonded effect. It's a really good bonded effect, but for now we're doing it this way. Maybe next time we'll cut the haunt, put in Mushy Truffle, and maybe put in some harpy eggs. I don't know. For now, this is how we're running it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and let's you know, fingers crossed for a good run with Deathwish here. Fairly standard list, but with a few tweaks that you don't generally see these days. Let's get to the gameplay. Enjoy. Alright. Santa Crack. In March. Okay, Onslaught, you know it's going to be a fun one. Hopefully we can deal with it, though. Double Harpy, that's fun. Get some Succubus, we got Brewess. This can grab Dagon. This is actually kind of good. Let's ditch this. We don't want this yet. That's fine. That's fine. Hopefully the tempo from Brewess can keep us in this for as long as we need to be. Deciding. What is an Onslaught player deciding on turn 1? Decree? No. Maxi. Okay. Alright. We're gonna go with the turn 1 Dagon. Usually the safest way to play it. Let's see. I like to put it on these two for later. And let's see, maybe the Foglet, Bridge Stroll, and the eggs. Let's just do the eggs. Alright. What's the heatwave target? What is the heatwave target in this deck? They could Magic Compass. I mean, Nova. It's probably Nova, yeah. So I'm really glad I drew it. Alright. I think we're just doing this. We got the eggs and the Foglet. That's pretty good. Do they run Squirrel? I mean, any deck could run Squirrel. Nova decks, or Golden Nekker decks, as they're probably more commonly known as, are definitely no exception to that rule. Alright, that's not too bad. That's too bad. That's fine. I would, actually, I would much rather get him out now, right? making that rock bar kind of hard for them, actually. Alright, Nekkers is going to tank 1 point of almost at frost. Because when do you ever see fog? Never. Okay, I will say I don't have a lot of consumes. I have this, which is good. But I don't know if I'm doing the Harpy. Probably not doing the Succubus though, right? For now, I'll just do this. At least my Deathwish units are worth an extra point off of Dagon, which is really good. He is putting in work. We worshipped him twice. There's a couple of worships right there. Oh no. Alright. Alright, it sucks to lose that consume given our situation here, but I'm actually very okay with that. And this is one of those passes. One of those tempting passes, like, oh, I can make them go 2 cards down. But it is always better to win on even than to lose 2 cards up. It is always better. This could be a consume. This can be a consume. We are now playing at a slightly disadvantageous position because we have some low value cards. Please, you know, this is 5, this is 6. This can be pretty decent. Okay. Six. This will tie us. They have no passive points. I mean, if they give me this pass, oh, but it sucks too. It sucks to take a pass like that. I wasn't feeling it. Oh no! Oh, I hate you. I hate you. I will do that. No, 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 no. Oh, that sucks. I mean, it was only 10. I mean, it was more than 10 points because they actually activated this cataclysm that I did not think they would be able to. I mean, this is 8. This is 4. I don't have it. Not without a leader charge. 8, 4, 7, 12, 19. No. Okay, so they still have the donkeys, they still have Golden Nekker. I have Haunt, and potentially this. Oh. Oh. Oh, what do I do here? Succubus, Foglet. Just a pass, okay. Just a pass, okay. If we can get that laugh. How many times do we worship? 2. I need to be able to worship. I need to worship my boy. None of those 3 cards worship. It's too slow for this. Oh my, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my god, oh my god. That was so close to just not working. I mean, can they stop the worship? I mean, if they have a squirrel, they can banish the thing, but can they stop my units here from worshipping? I'm gonna say no. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So if I play this... Yeah. And then we eat it. And then we have the Arrakis Queen to eat it. And then we have the Abaya. Can I get greedy with the Abaya? I mean, there's no heat wave. They've spent Curse. What was that? Just donkey power? A really bad donkey? Okay. Can they banish this? I mean, no. No. They can lock... Nah, can they? Do I? I mean, this Abaya sucks if I don't use it on Arrakis Queen, so... That's fine. That's Tesha Mutna's sword. Didn't even kill her. I mean, that's fine. Do you even use the thing? See, I get 4 units. Might have been wrong in using the thing. Dude, that's so fine. That's fine. We might just be heat waving this for 12. Which I don't mind at all. If I do this... No, the Ekimara got in the way. That actually really sucks. Jesus Christ, that sucks. But there's no way to avoid that, is there? Oh, this... I should not have done that. Maybe I shouldn't have spawned those. Oh, that is so weak. I'll just hold on to it. I think we're good. I mean, what more could they have? Compass, yes, but come on. You know, I definitely had a few too many death wishes here. But you know, that happens. That happens. I don't see this compass being 40 points, you know? When I saw that Svalblod, I did get a little bit scared. Because that's just a card you don't account for when you think about compass. It's a good Svalblod. But even Daddy Svalblod was not worth 40 points there. Thank God. Alright, we are off to a good start beating Nekker Onslaught. One of my least favorite decks in the game. Inspired Zeal. Okay. Could be something cool. It could be something not as cool. We will just have to see. See, this is Dagon. And I'm not spending Haunt and Dagon. But I don't want to mulligan it because I have no way to tutor this. So we're keeping it. Abaya is fine. Evolved Dagon is really fun. Let's see, I do wanna do it on these just to ensure that I don't do it now. Round 1. Evolved Dagon is fun when we can pull him off, and I'll definitely go for it if I feel that need. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Getting kind of punished for not having a tutor for Heatwave. We do kind of have to trigger these two. We gotta make sure we worship enough. Okay, it's an Arbalests deck. And at least we have points like crazy here. Like it's kind of insane. Like if I just eat this and then I eat this. Yeah, we're going big. We're going big, but that's fine. That is fine. So we worship twice, right? That's what I was hoping for. Yes, good. They're setting up a lot of carryover, but we, you know. I mean, if you're just killing that for me, you're saving me a lot of trouble. You're not... Okay. I know that by dragging this out, I am enabling them. Okay. That's fine. I like Inspired Zeal with Reaver Scout. As long as you're not spamming Reaver Hunters, I like that. You know, just... I've always been saying I want more targets for Inspired Zeal. Because for a very long time, like, the only targets were Seltkirk and Commandos. Like, that was it. That's the only thing you were doing. Alright. I do gotta know when to quit. Of course, they can start playing melee now. All their cards are worth extra points. Unless they have more 10 Parisian units in their deck, that should have gone melee, just for the boost. See, I just think... Like right now, I am 24 points ahead. But I feel like they can make that up pretty quickly. And then get a long round. But that carryover is also scary. That carryover is very scary. 20... No, I'm 25 plus 9. I'm 34 points ahead. Just I think this pass is actually stupid. Oh shit. See, again, play that melee, it's worth 2 extra points. So unless you have a bunch of 10s in your deck. That's interesting though, Rune Mage. That's a little bit out of nowhere. It's really big. I mean, they can take this in 2. They can easily take this in 2. Right? Which means I lose. Okay, I have to spend 1 of their extra leader charges. Wait, you played this from hand? I guess there's some siege engines in there too. That would make sense. Yeah, they took it in 2, which honestly, they don't care about being a card down. Like they dry pass. We go into 8 card round for them. That's more than enough. That is more than enough. Like no matter what I get. Like yes, I can draw good cards. I can draw good cards, but good cards and card advantage is not going to help me against this. Man, if I had just had Heat Wave round 1, I could have messed them up. Let's see, we have a succubus here. Like we don't need 2, right? But what's in the deck? These cards? I guess I'd rather just have the 2. I think. I think this is going to be a game where we probably don't... I mean, if they ping off our units, then sure. Oh, no. Yeah, that's the heat wave, right? That has to be the heat wave. Okay, that's... Yeah, they have so much carryover. Like, me being 1 card up, that's worth nothing. Like, their carryover alone is gonna... Yeah. Yeah, I don't see this going well at all. I have a little bit of carryover once I get out Mr. Dagon. It's gonna be a little bit. Are you really doing that? Okay. So their leader was just a few points here and there. Can't say I'm too impressed. Forgot about that. I mean, yes, I have carryover too. 12 points, apparently. That I just forgot about. Yeah, like, I don't think we use this, right? I don't think we're gonna get a chance. Also, I don't... Really? Oh my god, yes! I was legitimately worried because, like, yes, our deck has... We have power. Like, we have point slam galore. We have a little bit of carryover. But they... I mean, the way they use those inspired Zeal charges just to boost up Ansays for... a little bit of extra points, sure. I mean, that just showed me that their draws must have been pretty bad, right? Like, their leader was obviously not getting a lot of value if they were just using it that way to kill a target that... I mean, that extra consume would have helped, I'll admit. Okay, so go ahead, tell. Varied matchups. Not often you get that. Precision strike. Okay, control deck. I think we can handle that pretty well. If it's Matic, we heat wave it. Brewess will give us the tempo to afford it. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. And this hand is also just pretty good. Let's... You know what? No, I can keep him. I can keep him. I can keep him. I am tempted. Admittedly, I am very tempted. I mean, if it's not Matic, then my... Otherwise, my best heat wave is probably a Gourd. Probably a Gourd, yes. Let's see, we do you and you. Probably you. You can definitely see this coming out. You know, I've been doing you a lot, so I'll go on, hit him. Hit Mr. Dagon. See, I think it's really funny when they have making a bomb, but it's not a Matic deck. It's not a Matic deck. Okay, so with Brewess, you know, I am tempted. I am tempted to get greedy with the Abaya, right? But it could backfire really hard. I think it could backfire really, really hard. So I'm gonna do it like this just because if I get at all greedy with Brewess and they disrupt it, I think that's just a really big loss It's a really big loss that I don't want any part in. Yeah, my biggest death wish is gonna be 4 points. So like I might as well. I can do this. And just do this. Yes, playing straight into the saber-toothed tiger. Like, it's so well hidden, like I forget about it, you know? Yeah, that's right, he gains. Okay, full leader. Full leader round 1 just to be 10 points behind. Ah, not 10 points. But to still be behind. A card down. That's just not a good sign for you. Is there any way for me to get 2 units? I don't think so. I'll try to save this decree. I'll definitely try to save it. Maybe I can use the saber-toothed tiger to trigger the death wish on this. Just remember the Whispering Hillock can also grab Araka's Queen. So we are free to decree if we want to. 0-point stratagem, always fun.
Only one with no sense would trust the word of
Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Damn. Alright. I'm gonna be a little bit cocky. I'll offer up a pass. They're not taking it. They are not taking it. Whoa. Traps, huh? Traps, huh? Huh. You know, at this point, I do not know what to do. I'll settle for this.
We're not done if you can stay.
Offering up a pass. Although it might be getting a little bit obvious to them that I'm running out of gas. They might be running out too. So we know they have Serpent Trap in their deck. And also that. That's so fun. So fun. Let's see, this will put Araka's Queen on top. So I'm actually free to use Hillock as well if I want to. But just grabbing a Death Wish unit is not helping me much because I don't have a lot of ways to consume them. I have this one. I have this one way. Should I just back out? No, because then I lose last save for the Gourd. I lose last save for the Gourd. That's the one thing you don't do. Don't play it on the range throw with the thing. I mean, actually, it was... No, it worked out. It worked out. It makes this heartbeat quite playable. Okay, it's not guaranteed to be a serpent trap, but I feel like there's a good chance. They can't spring it for any value, and as long as I don't play Heat Wave, I'm not triggering it at all. Don't go melee. You just had to go melee, didn't you? Do I? Dude, what if that's a, what if that's one of the traps? This crushing trap. That's gonna be 6 extra points. So I have to actually think that I'm at 16. Wait, no, he's not worshipping. It wasn't. Okay, it wasn't. But that could have been a really good debate. Wait, when did they play it? Maybe the time had already gone by. Was I really stupid? Was I really stupid there? I think I was. I think that was really stupid. What, right? No, they play this, right? No, it would have triggered it in between. Oh, come on. What? 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 What did you banish? That laugh? Did you banish that laugh? Okay, well, you're gonna watch me dead laugh in your face. Why the hell would you do that? Okay. So maybe we both threw the game with that laugh. Maybe they felt sorry for me. Yeah, I think I miscounted, because I think if that had been a crushing trap, it would have triggered already. So I would have known. So it was the serpent trap. 100%. What are you doing? Well, these are both the same, except he boosts the unit, this boosts itself. But this just makes my Barkist not as big. Was that bad? I don't know if that was bad. We've already seen one tall punish, right? Yeah, way to play around that. Way to play around that.
It's not that I know this. It's you who's always sexy. Relax.
Yeah. I think that's just
We're not done if you can still.
just as a consume on this, right?
I'm just as sexy. It's not that I'm always pretty. It's you who's always sexy.
How do you still have 2 traps left? Yeah, good for you. Yeah, I misplayed. I mean, I had to play the Dead Laugh regardless, but I didn't have to use the leader charge. Alternatively, you know, my heat wave ended up not having been great at all. It would have been a 6-point heat wave. Like, if I could have just predicted that, I could have just manually discarded it and spent my leader on a succubus. Right? Preserving Dead Laugh. Which probably would have been maybe a fraction of a bit better. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna call it there. Some of you may be disappointed that we didn't do any Dagon Risen shenanigans. But I will say this. I mean, it's like the common consensus at this point that Dagon Promised is the better form. I still think that this is pretty good. Because even at the first tier Deathwish, you summon a bronze Deathwish unit from your graveyard to the row. Like, if he gets banished or locked, obviously he's terrible. But if he just gets killed, or if he survives, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I mean, he's fun, and we'll do this. We'll do this at some point. I will be playing more Dagon. I like Dagon. You know, he is a 14 provision card, which does go against my belief system, if you will call it that. But he is fun. I like Dagon Promised. Infusing 5 units with the extra Deathwish. It's surprisingly consistent. Brew-S definitely helps, pulling out a few of those units. And it's powerful carryover. It's very powerful carryover. 8 points, a consume, and an engine. What more can you ask for? Yeah. I mean, there's not much else to say. It's fairly traditional Deathwish. I guess I could comment on just a few cards that I have in here that aren't traditionally run. I mean, these two don't matter. These are just filler cards, so it's really just the Haunt. It's really just the Haunt. And what can I say about Haunt? I mean, all 3 of the cards that it plays, like, none of them really see play by themselves. Because they've all just been the same ever since they were released, which was 2019, right? Yes. A card staying the same for over 3 years. It's usually not a good sign. I mean, however, I stand by the fact that Desert Banshee is a good card. Barghest, meh. Night Wraith, you want more than 7 points out of a 4 provision Deathwish card. Because you can just play 4 provision cards for 7 points without having to consume them to get the value. So like, you want more out of this. Even just 1 base power increase. Maybe an extra rat on both effects would be good. Make it a really nice swarm card. I think Banshee is good. 4 for 4. Order, consume, and just a little bit of an extra payoff for playing Deathwish. I think she's good. Barcast, whatever. Double consume is nice on a 5 provision card. But it's very few points. And Deathwish cards, like you can play a Foglet, right? It's 10 points. If you trigger the Deathwish, you get full value from the Fog. That's 10 points for 4 provisions. Really good. But if you had to play a 5 for 5 to get 6 of those points, like that's 15 points for 9 provisions across 2 cards. And for, what did I say, 15? Yeah. You can just play an 8 for 5 and a 7 for 4, and you do the exact same thing, but they're good separately, right? We just need a little bit more payoff for having these cards that need to be played together in order to get value. So just, and I think Foglet, I mean, as a 10 for 4, I think he's pulling his own weight. I think the consumers maybe need a little bit more. Siren is good because this can be an 8 for 5 that also triggers the Deathwish. Like I like Siren, I really do. And Giant Toad, love it, really cool card. Like even the Harpies, they're 5 for 4s. Yes, they can't consume twice, but you have this cool bonded effect, which could be worth a lot of points. And Dragon Warrior consumes 2 at once and can give you tokens, and it's cheaper for only 1 point less. It's not even 1 point less because you always get the 1 insectoid. Buff Barcast. Or honestly, maybe just rework it because like Deathwish decks don't need this additional consume unit. So maybe just rework it. Maybe that would make Haunt more playable as well. I like Haunt. Is it worth 14 provisions? I'm not sure. Like, this deck has no way to tutor it. Like we have a decent amount of thinning, especially if we can go first and trigger Brewis an additional time. And you know, we should be able to draw it fairly consistently. But if we do miss it, that's a lot of provisions wasted as opposed to missing an Erendite, right? Missing those 4 extra provisions, being stuck with, you know, some of this instead of like a K-Ran, which the usual Deathwish decks run. That sucks. But that's the trade-off for splitting your provisions this way. And I like Haunt as a card, but I imagine the meta Deathwish decks don't run it for a reason. And that reason is primarily, like, we don't need it, so why spend provisions? Like, why risk those provisions? Dagon we can tutor, and Dagon is just really, really good, so we like Dagon on this channel. Alright, I believe I've talked enough. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed a little bit of Deathwish. Like I said, only Dagon promised form in this video because that's generally the form that you're gonna go for. But you know, I'll play some more Deathwish at some point, and we'll try to maybe be a little bit more gimmicky with it. Getting evolved form Dagon, getting a few copies with the Rakka's Queen, and they all just stack up to that final form. That is fun. That is fun, and we're definitely gonna go for that at some point. But for now, just some traditional Deathwish gameplay. A little bit of a misplay against the Traps player. Then again, they misplayed right back at me. Literally the very next turn. So, you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's fun though. It's fun though. You know, Traps, you see them so rarely. Like it's, and that you can't look at them to see when they're gonna trigger, right? But yeah, it would have triggered the turn before, so I would have known if it were a crushing trap, but you know, if you excuse that little brain fart, then my play actually made sense, because if that was potentially a crushing trap, and I went for the smallest possible play to barely get ahead without overcommitting, I could have lost, right, on the, or been forced to play my second card. And it worked out, so, you know, why Why are you giving me hate? Why are you giving me hate in this imaginary scenario in my head, huh? Stop it. Okay. I'm gonna stop it. Until next time, have a good one. And I hope to see you again soon for just a tad more Gwent. You know, we're still trying to make our way to the expansion, which very well might ruin the game again. But it's all about staying optimistic. You know, we gotta have high hopes. There's bound to be some fun cards in there as well, right? So we're just gonna wait for those. Until then, stay safe.